This here is from a Reddit called Depp Delusion, and their goal is to snap people out of the delusion that Johnny Depp's the victim. They're still fairly active, most posts doing relatively well, couple of hundred likes, couple of thousand views probably, and they do a pretty good job of digging into Johnny's past. So this here is not a lie, this is totally true. But obviously it's the way you look at it and the way you frame it which is important. It's a bit tricky here because apparently Johnny Depp did actually plan on peeing on Oliver Stone. But we gotta include the fact that he was wasted, which you'll hear him say. And if you've had a lot of drinks, you know, once it gets to a certain level, you're a little out of control. And if you're a guy, well, we've got the opportunity to kind of aim at things. Let's put it that way. I can't say if you're not a guy, you can't relate at all, but it's easier to relate to the story if you're a dude. Anyway, let's hear from Johnny. I gotta stop and talk a little bit just for copyright reasons. I can't play the whole thing in one shot. So here we go. Let's see what we got.
So I was going to the restroom and I saw at the edge of the bar is a restaurant. I saw Oliver and Alex Ho. I literally thought, this is it. I will make my statement here and now. I was wasted.
Right. So keep in mind, as he says, he was wasted, which is, I think, a key point.
So I climb up on this marble banister and I got behind Oliver's table. There was a curtain right here. Oliver's head's there. So I unzipped the old fly and pulled out the old friend and was about ready to, I was going to urinate on Oliver.
All right. So, I mean, he said it, but, he's telling it as like a funny story. It's not something he's like ashamed of. I wish I never did that, this and that. It was just going to be a thing he did. They were both super famous at the time, still are pretty much. It would have been some stupid prank that got out in the media, nothing really serious.
And history will absolve me. Challenge after challenge after challenge, word after word after word, and you go, oh, I'll get you, man. I'll get you. And that was my moment. I seen it. I was about to take it. And I felt this violent, like, tug on the back of my shirt. We fell flat on the ground. And it was the first AD, H. Gordon Booze.
All right. So basically, this guy here, I guess he's a camera person, lighting person, whatever, pulled Johnny back and saved Johnny, and Johnny couldn't do it. So like I said, maybe you can't relate, whatever. He was in his 20s, I guess, really drunk. I would think nothing of it except, okay, that was kind of funny, dude. But I'm going to imagine, because I haven't read yet, this forum's going to make it to be some terrible thing that helps prove that Johnny was really the bad guy. In a 2018 documentary, Johnny Depp revealed that he tried to urinate on the director of Platoon during its filming as revenge, but he was stopped. Depp has been a violent, abusive, vindictive, and sociopathic person for most of his life. Man, this is really delusional. This is the delusion. It was a fun story. He's laughing and making a joke out of it. He knows most likely Oliver Stone and that guy he mentioned is going to see it anyway and just chuckle about it. How does this in any way, shape, or form mean that he's all these terrible things they say? He was also extremely racist to a Nigerian actor and took advantage of said actor's lack of English by teaching him profanity. Well, now, I speak a second language. I've been talking to people who we've been giving and taking with language learning for the last 20 years, and I can tell you something. One of the funnest things to do is teach each other curses of the other language. It's very normal. Not with everybody, but when you find someone usually around the same age, same interest or whatever, it's something that normally comes up. But I guess everything these days is racist. The fact he's wearing a Bad Brains shirt makes this 10 times worse. Right, because that's what makes it worse or bad or anything. Now the pro-Depp psyop is coming to an end. I hope people are ashamed looking back at the misogynist propaganda they ate up without a second thought. Which is what I'm trying to tell people desperately that come to my channel and say, don't report on Amber, Leave her alone. She's irrelevant. There are people like this who think you are giving up, and that means they think they can put out more and more positivity about Amber. So if you're one of those people who's ready to type, leave Amber alone, she's irrelevant, keep this type of person in mind. Not every video on this channel will be about Amber and Johnny like it was for the last 2 or 3 years. There's going to be a much better mix-up. However, because of these people, I'm not going anywhere. Let's continue. And this person here kind of randomly says they understand why Marilyn Manson does things because it would fit his image, but not Depp. Why would Depp even think about such a thing? What disgusting trash he is. Absolute clown. Alright, that's about it. Maybe Malone, but I think this is just, a silly thing he was talking about. Was he actually up there with his little friend out, as he says, to do it? Who knows? It just kind of makes a controversial, funny story, and I'll give you a little bit of a hint of a secret. When you're famous and you're growing in fame, it's not for no reason. It's because you say interesting things at interesting times. And once in a while, you try to tell a funny story to try to get algorithm and clicks and things like that. This was before those days, but in the same sense, getting eyes on it, getting people to read it and keep watching and things like that. No big deal in my book. Anyway, if you're not subscribed to it, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.